Hello, and welcome to the Wedding Dish Podcast. Grab your fork and knife and take a seat at our table as we dish on all things weddings. You'll hear stories and tips from real couples and wedding pros about love, life, and entrepreneurship. I am Sarah Alapin, the host of The Wedding Dish and CEO of Photos from the Hardy and District Bliss. Thank you so much for tuning into The Wedding Dish. Let's dish. Today, we have a return guest joining us, and I'm super excited to catch up with her because, you're going to hear all about it. There are tons of new developments, and we're going to dive deep on some really cool traditions that she's worked on. So I want to welcome Millen, the lady behind Millen's Occasions.
Hi, I'm so excited.
Me too. How are you?
I'm good. Well, first I want to say thank you for having me back. Been so
Of
excited
course.
about this. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We love you at the Wedding
Oh,
Dish.
I love you guys. I'm telling you. I kind of, constantly listen to the podcast sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe I said that, But hey,
Ah,
but it won't be Millen if I don't speak the truth.
that's
But,
true. That's true. And
oh,
it wouldn't be Sarah either if we
exactly.
didn't speak the truth.
Hey, you want the wedding dish? This is what we're gonna dish out. No,
Exactly.
but no, it's so
So,
good to be back.
and it's so good to have you, even though we are virtual now. And the last time I got to see you in person.
I know, but thank God, for all this technology. It's amazing. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I totally agree. So a little update.
Sure.
Since the last time Millen was here with us, she actually took a position at a wedding loft, which is in Leesburg, Virginia. And Barbara, the lady behind a wedding loft, was on last season. So tell us how it's going. I mean, you're in their professional podcasting studio right now.
Actually, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I call it my room, but I know it's everybody's room. But when I'm here, I take over.
Isn't that what every room is when you enter?
Exactly. I told Barbara, I said, the next building you guys ever plan, just make sure it has my name there, I'll pay for it. It's not a problem. So, oh my goodness, it's amazing. It's been a lot, but it's been wonderful. COVID has really made me think about so many things. I would not have thought about podcasting if it was not for COVID. Because the planning industry is kind of like slowed down as planners.
Yeah.
So it's just, when we're just sitting like, okay, just tumbling our fingers, like, okay, what's next? What's next? And you all know, as a business owners, your brain is just constantly go. So the wedding loft came through. Actually, a friend of mine had referred me to them like last year, but no, 2019 actually. And at that time, I was like, okay, I'll get to it. And then finally, of course, COVID happened. I was like, you know what? Let me see what my friend is talking about. And I checked it out. Came that day, send an email. And I've been following the Wedding Loft actually on Instagram. And I reached out, emailed Barb. And oh my God, you just fall in love with her the minute you walk in. I knew I was going to become a member the minute I came through them doors. Just the welcoming. And at that time, she was just kind of like getting back to herself because of COVID. So we just like literally we sat down, we connected. I love what she does, especially because it is a place of women networking together, creating things together, co-working. Not only that, for your clients to come to a safe place. Because I remember, and we talked about this the last time we were together, I will meet my clients at a coffee shop, restaurants, remember? And these things get expensive,
Yeah, I mean it's definitely more than what it costs per month to be a member at a wedding loft because it's so reasonably priced. I did drop my jaw a little bit when she
Yeah,
told me. I was like, "What?"
I know.
But it's because of Barbara wants to really like be generous and give
Hmm.
back to the community. And I think that's such a lovely thing. And that's why I'm so excited that you decided to really be part of a wedding loft
I'm telling you.
because I think it's going to be brilliant for Millen's occasions
Yes.
in many ways.
Many.
And as a reminder, Millen's Occasions
Yes.
is well, how would you like to intro Millen's
Sure, sure.
Occasions?
I know we
Because
just
I
went
can,
on.
yeah. I
um,
mean, we'll start with Millen brings the fun and organization to
yes,
your wedding,
yes.
and
With
we'll
a
let her
smile.
take it from there.
You will never see behind the door, not yet. We're trying to work on that. We're trying to get the documentary, how it all begins and how it starts. That's coming. It's coming soon. So my name is Milan Haile. I'm from Eritrea, and I own Milan's Occasions. I've been in the business for 5 years. I'm a wedding coordinator and event planner, and just started a podcast February 15. And it just kind of falls on all into the business. And one reason why I started the podcast actually is also to build the community of all entrepreneurs. Of course, as right now, again, of COVID kind of like struck everybody down. And people, a lot of entrepreneurs just like, they don't know how to get out there. And, where do we start? And then remind you, these are folks that probably been in the business 5 and plus years. And just imagine for the new ones coming in, they don't even know where to go, where I was like that even before COVID. So this is a way to do the podcasting, do the interviews, let them know who these people are behind the scene. Because I've noticed as I've talked to a lot of, when you send in questions to anyone, or whether it's Instagram or Facebook, they're like, "Oh no, we want to see face. We want to see, who's behind the scene, who's doing this work, who we hiring. Let's get their, because that's personality is a big thing. Because if they see a good personality, they definitely going to hire you, and just get to know who you are, not just as a business owner, also as well as who you are in person when you are not, whether you're a planner or a photographer. So that's one reason, definitely, just to kind of build in the community and help the community as well, and especially like my community in the Eritrean Ethiopian culture. So yeah,
Yes. Yeah, and I love that. I love what you do. I love that you focus on culturally dynamic weddings and celebrations and events. I think that's such a beautiful space, and it's something that you're clearly very, very passionate about. Um, so I wanted to dive in a little bit to, I know we touched on how you became a wedding planner in the first episode when you were on,
yeah,
which was your sister's wedding. And I want to talk a little bit about how you merged the Eritrean and Sierra Leone cultures and what traditions you implemented. And really give us some information about what that actually looks like
oh my goodness.
in, it's, yes,
Did you see some
all of it.
video I posted?
When did you post
I'm
it?
not-
I've
Or,
probably
look,
seen it.
I will send it to you privately again. How about that?
Okay, okay. I
um,
think your sister looked like a queen
oh
on
my
her wedding day.
goodness. So Titi got married 2019, if I'm not mistaken, 2018. The first wedding, Sarah's the first one. My other little sister is when decided like, okay, we got to do this. And of course, actually, my friend's wedding, Titi's wedding, the Eritrean and the Sierra Leone. I mean, and this was a family thing coming together. I can't even take all the credit, to be honest. We just came together, and his family, my sister, our family, and of course, we had to learn a little bit more about the Sierra Leone as well, because we wanted to make sure and that we don't miss anything. We knew our part of the Eritrean culture, but also we wanted to know the Sierra Leone. So of course, his wonderful aunt, his mom, and all of them, his sister, they all kind of explained to us, their clothes. They definitely change into the gowns as you've seen. She did the Eritrean culture first, and then I think at the end, no, I'm sorry, she did the Sierra Leone change, and then her tradition outfit, and then she went on to the Eritrean. Um, the dances. I mean, that's what I think. Literally, when they came out, that's when you could. I mean, everyone was right there. Even me as a planner, I was like, "Oh my god, this is just gorgeous." Just to bring that together. Um, so yeah, we just kind of did our homework. I was watching YouTube. The way they walk in, the way they dance. So that was a good, experience for me. Just like when I tell my clients, when you're coming into a different culture, I know for me, if I'm working with, just like right now, I have an Eritrean and an African American wedding in August. So for my client, for her, the wedding party, I have to send them videos just to give them an idea what it looks like. So, and you don't have to have it perfect, just move the shoulders. You move the shoulders and the legs, you're good. It's a dance. We make, listen, I don't even know half of the dances these kids make nowadays, I'm serious.
Yeah. Oh, I feel you.
Yeah. So just as long as you move the shoulders, and one thing about the Sierra Leone, they're the same way. Just move the hands. I wish I had some music right now, and just show the hands. Like your shoulders, and just your feet. That's it. Oh no.
That's so fun. I love that. So what does it look like when they're entering?
So when they entering, the music is on, of course. So and for Sierra Leone, they can the same thing. I think most of the time they use DJ. So we use DJ for their music. We had we had a DJ for that, but we also had a band for the Eritrean culture. So when they were coming, when it was their turn, it just like they just coming in, just dancing. My little sister came in with her little feathers. She actually did exactly what they do, and I mean, she had to respect that. And that was amazing. And I was like, wow, T, you did a great job. Like you literally, followed it and you just got it right. And it was so cute. Even my niece at that time, I think she was 8 years old, 9. And I was looking at her and she was grooving. I mean, she followed it. Seriously. I cannot wait to get the video like in my hand so I can post it on Instagram so folks can really see exactly how it was. But yeah, these are the things that I'm trying to work on, Sarah, that I want to do like a documentary, how these cultures work. Because a lot of times folks don't know what exactly happens behind the scene. How does it start? Where does it begin? Where does it end? So that's a big homework that I'm really, really trying to focus on. The only thing is, of course, you got to make sure your clients are okay with that. They do have to sign a waiver. But I'm like, hey, who doesn't want to be on TV one day? You know,
True,
especially,
true.
I mean, especially with these beautiful weddings. Why not? And of course, you have to make sure with the venue's okay because they already have their video photographers and their video cameras. So like now, I have photographers following me when I'm doing my work because these are things that never get captured when it's photographer that's hired for a client, which is not their fault, but you need one for yourself. So yeah, I'm telling you, I came really a long way. When I look at 5 years, how I got here is just amazing. And since you met me, I have not stopped. I'm just going, until I get exactly where I want.
Yeah, I love that. And that means even during, the wedding pause that was 2020,
Oh my goodness, yes.
you're still moving those shoulders and moving those feet.
I sure am.
I love it.
Thank you.
So can you tell me like a little bit about what it looks like behind the scenes of one of these like really traditional cultural weddings?
Okay. So I can give you one now. So right now, which all of really most of them, they pretty much the same. And remember, as we talked before, it's 3 days. A 3 day. I mean, of course, forget the 3 day. You're already working the minute they say that ring is on that finger. And first I always tell my clients, please enjoy your engagement. Please enjoy your engagement. And 2 months later, go ahead, stop planning, especially if you planning, for a year. After 2 months, go. Let's start. So they have, if it's a traditional, they definitely have to get ready for 2 days. They have to get ready for Saturday, which is the white gown, which is the white wedding dress, and that's pretty much the easiest one. And then of course, you got to make sure the groom's the same way. For the second day, which we call it Melsi, is Melsi. That's the whole traditional day. Now that is that day that they literally waking up 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. If they want to get their hair braided, Sometimes the bridesmaid will get that too. If the bride's, if she wants them, that's fine. But if not, it's really up to the bride how she wants that. And the braiding, I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures. It's like really in the middle, all braid with jewels. So they have all this ready. So they have to make, sometimes the jewelry is kind of handed, from tradition, from the family, from the parents. If not, then of course, the groom has to go get it, and he'll purchase it wherever. Back in the days, we all used to get it from back home. Of course now, just with everything that's going on, you can pretty much get African jewelries from everywhere now. I mean, Amazon even has it. It's just crazy, But for the bride, they really do want to be the real traditional because it just she's the bride. She got to stand out. Her bridesmaid will have one. Of course, they won't go out, more like hers, but just a little, maybe like jewelry or necklace, earrings, um, bracelets, rings. So they will have to have all that prepared for Sunday. Um, and then the injera, I don't know if have you had any Eritrean or Ethiopian is the food is pretty much the same. It's like the injera, like the bread. I don't know if you had that. So that's what they'll eat on Sunday. And usually for the bridal party, they have a cute little space on the stage. And so the bride and groom have their own. The bridal party will, and sometimes they make it different now. Sometimes they'll have one of their best men and her maid of honor will sit right next to next to the groom and bride. So they're kind of like feeding each other because that's what we do. The culture was like that, and just yeah. And so right before the food, actually, I kind of jumped. There's all the moms, all the ladies. I'm gonna send you a video, so that just to give you an idea. It's all the women. They coming in with bottles of liquor. Okay. Yeah, it's like a tequila. We call it araki.
I'm
Um,
here for it.
Pretty much, people are. So they coming in with that. They holding. It's like a souvenir, but I mean, the equipment is beautiful. They're holding that, dancing around. This is just like what they do back home, just for the traditional. It is so beautiful. They're all dressed up, of course. I mean, it just amazes me the things that they do.
That sounds
Oh my goodness.
stunning.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna send you some pictures. I'm gonna send you some pictures. I know definitely the wedding that I'm doing, um, she's doing hers a little bit very different. So she will do the Eritrean ceremony a month early. Her wedding is in August, but she's gonna do it a month early in July. So she'll have her traditional dress. She'll get her hair done and everything, a braids and all that. So she'll do that a month early. So she's doing it very different than any other cultures that I have done. And then that in August will just be the American ceremony. Yeah.
And how did both of their families feel about that kind of unique take on
Yeah.
tradition?
They love it. They love it. They
Oh, good.
cannot wait. They cannot wait. Some of them, they have not seen the dances and all that. So, and I was talking to a couple of them, and yeah, they cannot wait. It just and I love what her father said. He's like, I really want to see the traditional culture. When they walk in, I was like, oh my god, that is so amazing. That's so yeah. So I told them be ready. I told them be ready to dance. Just because I mean, the dancing itself is a workout. But you don't feel it that night because it's just the energy. You're happy. You don't feel being tired. You'll feel it at the end or the next day, but you're not gonna feel it that day when you're dancing. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got all of the like endorphins
Oh,
going and
oh yeah.
everything. I
Oh
love that. I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I the fact that both of their families are so excited about the way that they've chosen to do this is amazing. I mean, first of all, I'm sure
Mhm.
it's not always the case.
Yeah.
So that is so lovely. And I'm really excited that you're part of it, obviously, because
Oh
it will
my
be
God.
perfect.
Thank you.
Um,
We are almost there. We almost like we just got one thing to hire, but the timeline is already done. Yeah, for the morning and the evening, we finish. Because one thing I try to tell my clients, and especially for the bride, to rest. Because let me tell you this, because the camera is on you the whole time. They water. There you go, water.
I just pointed at my
Yep.
water bottle.
So true. You need that rest because I've noticed, if I'm not working with them, some of the brides will say, "Oh my God, I have," and this is like a month before the wedding. The month before the wedding, you should not be running around. You should be relaxing. You should be going to the spa. If it's a bridal shower, whatever going on, go enjoy that. You should not. And I usually tell clients, if you don't have a planner, try not to talk about the day of your bridal shower. Don't talk about your wedding. Talk about something else. What honeymoon? Talk about that. And that's another thing I always tell my clients when you're planning your wedding, please add in your honeymoon on that package because a lot of them they don't take it after their wedding. They'll wait a year or 6 months, and sometimes it doesn't even happen. So I do definitely push that to put the honeymoon in that package. Put a planner in that package. Put a honeymoon in that package. So yeah.
And by package, you mean budget for
Budget,
it
budget
at
for
the
it.
same time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was I had some anxiety around my honeymoon, which
Mhm.
I know sounds strange.
Yeah. I was tired. Oh my goodness, from what happened.
It Yeah, well, yeah, I had some things going on with having to change my job and physically with my injury, but I felt like I couldn't mentally get past planning the wedding. So
Mm.
the idea of the honeymoon overwhelmed me. Um, so we ended up I have a dear friend who owns Jetaway Guru,
Oh,
and she just planned it for us, which was really helpful, and she's since planned like a bunch of our events, but everyone like treated us so well because it wasn't us going and saying, hey, it's our honeymoon, upgrade us. It
right.
was other people
The
seeing
see?
this.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you sorry. Yeah.
Whoop,
I know, right?
Siri
See,
had to get a word in there.
honey, I said, let me turn her off. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so I totally agree. Um I think, having that month before would have been ideal for me to not be thinking about my wedding and more focused on the honeymoon. And again, we did find a great workaround that ended up being perfect for us. As most people, hopefully everyone finds
Yeah.
workarounds that are perfect for them
Yes.
in whatever their situation is. But it was also, it was kind of complicated because we got married in California, and
I
I was
remember
like,
that.
where are we going to go honeymoon? Like in September.
Oh, you can find a place.
We ended up going to Kauai.
See? See? And September actually a great place because it's not even that expensive. Because
Hmm.
Hawaii is already expensive, but at least that season. Yeah, because everybody back to
Yeah.
school, back to work. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it ended up working out well, but I love that idea of one, budgeting for it because it is something people forget to include in the budget.
Yes.
Um, and then two, really like having that as something additional to look forward to.
Mhm.
So you're not just, waking up the morning after the wedding and feeling like, oh, wow, now there's all this time. What am I going to do? You're intentionally taking that time off because planning a wedding takes a ton of time.
It
It's a
does.
lot of found time afterward.
It is. It really, really is. Exactly. Because, like I was telling my client, so what's going to happen is now that we have all the big important things done, it's the little things that's gonna. And I always tell folks, you forget the little things, you don't forget about the big things. So the little ones always like, oh my God, how did I forget that? So we're gonna be working on that now because one thing I did say, because I want her to rest. She because they're the one that COVID happened had to put the wedding on hold. So yeah, as much they are ready, I am so ready. I was just texting her yesterday. I was like, "Oh my God, you only got 4 months with me," because it's like it's like they're your baby.
Yeah.
So now it's like, oh my God, I'm about, I got 4 more months to let you guys go. So it's getting that time now. You do. You do
Oh
get
my
attached to
gosh.
your clients. You really, really do. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. I mean, if you're working especially if you're working with your ideal clients,
Yes,
then
ideal
you really
client.
emotionally invest.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
I feel the exact same way. And on that note, we are going to take a super quick break
Sure.
on the wedding dish, and we will be right back with Millen's occasions.
Bye.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining us on the wedding dish today. I am your host, Sarah Alapin, and I have with me Millen from Millen's Occasions. We've been chatting a little bit about Eritrean weddings, weddings from Sierra Leone, combining traditions, including, the classic American traditions, what we consider here to be typical, with other cultural traditions in a way where everyone comes away feeling supported, happy, heard, and excited about the process. So, which to me, I mean, that's the ideal situation, right? Like everyone wants to feel heard, everyone wants to be everyone's already invested. That's
Yes.
probably the biggest cause of conflict in weddings with family is that they're so invested in your wedding that they don't know how to appropriately address everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm thrilled to hear that you have had amazing experiences surrounding that. And I would love to hear a little bit about um, why it's so important to you to share these cultural traditions, these wedding traditions, and highlight, a lot of people don't know where Eritrea even is. Many people probably haven't heard of it. It's pretty tiny.
Very.
Um, all things considered, it's bigger than my house, certainly. When I say tiny, it sounds
Right.
like,
This is my
it's
little
like a
map right
little,
here. What?
yeah,
So like
yeah.
I said, the Eritrean Ethiopian culture really is almost a little bit similar. So Eritrea is in East Africa. So I was born there, but I was raised, of course, majority a little bit in Saudi, and then came here to the United States in 1985. And but never forget my culture, never forget where I came from, because of our family. I mean, they kind of constantly, inherited in you. So we got, when you have weddings that you go to, because any parties, it doesn't matter if it's birthdays or christening, everything is big. I mean, it's a big celebration. Nothing is a celebration. So, I tell a couple of my friends, I was like, when I was 16, I think that's when the big party kind of stopped. After that, my mom's like, I'm done. You guys go do whatever you want. And of course, um, my little sister, it didn't matter. Every time her birthday turn came, it was a big party. And of course, it was right there at my dad's restaurant. So we just love the culture, just the way people are with you. And, and I kind of brought that even with my American friends growing up. And I think, that's why we connected, and they just love seeing that, like, oh my God, what are you guys eating? And or things like so they were all interested in it. Of course, at the beginning, growing up, it was a little bit difficult because no one really understood. And we were never really that shy or embarrassed to talk about it. We knew who we were, and we just kind of like taught our American friends about it. But later now, I love how things are changing. Um, no one is shy about it. Everyone is like willing to talk about every culture. And I love that, especially in this industry now, they get to see how both cultures are, the Eritrean and the Ethiopian, or just the Indian wedding. And Indian wedding went through it too. They went through a lot. So just to see that, and I love that, like on TV now, if you watch Bravo, they bring in all these different aspects of tradition. And I'm like, and I literally said to a friend of mine, I was like, oh my God, it's about time. We are on TV, even though I'm not
Heck
there.
yeah.
Not yet.
Soon, soon.
Soon. Bravo better hurry up and call me.
They better. Somebody else is going to swoop you
Right.
right up.
So, to see that, and I'm like it literally put tears in my eyes because this is what we've been struggling for, just to see where we came from. Because, to be honest, Sarah, like we were making fun of where we were from, eating with our hands. These are things that we had to explain as teenagers or kids, and then also trying to fit in. Because I remember a couple of people would say sometimes, when I was, my teenage time, or my mom, would not take her food to her job because people would say something, because they didn't know, you know,
Yeah.
they were not
Yeah.
taught that. But now, Mila, what you cooking? That smells so good, and I'm like, see, they're learning. And that's one thing that we did. Anyone that was around us, like our American friends, we had to show them where we came from. My dad is amazing in explaining things. He will talk to you all day about it. My mom was the same way. Our home was just always welcoming to anyone. As long you do right by their kids. So I'm really, really appreciated now that how much cultures are coming out. They start to show who they are without an embarrassment, and just being in the business, especially. And this is why I show the culture more, because I'm like, this is where I'm from. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And especially when I do the mixed culture, I love explaining. And I don't know it all. And if I don't, let me tell you, there's a lot of people that I can go to, and I'll ask them, hey, is this right? Is this how you say it? What else do I need to do? So that's one thing I will say, and anyone that's in a business, and if you want to learn, even like the American culture, I'm still learning about that too, that's why I can't wait to go to my country and really get that experience, and I can bring it back here and kind of like share that with anyone. It doesn't just have to be someone from my culture, but anyone around me in the business. Yeah, but I can talk about
I
it
love
all
that.
day.
I love that. And as much as I want to sit here and say it is not your responsibility to educate anyone else about your culture,
Hmm.
it is not that you are taking responsibility for it so much as you are enjoying the process of it.
Hmm.
Um, the defensive girl in me is like, it's not your job, but
Right.
it's not your job, it's your
My
passion. That is what
passion.
you
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
And so I did want to just differentiate those two things because I am a bulldog.
Oh, I know. I know.
I can't help it. My dog and I are the same person.
My claws.
Kuso, my little Frenchie buddy, he loves
I
Millen.
love him. Oh my goodness. Oh my, I cannot wait to see him again. Oh
Oh
my
my
goodness.
gosh.
I know.
He cannot wait either. And girl, I would switch lives with him any day and be laying down there in the sun on that fancy neighborhood watch chair of
Oh,
his.
he's amazing. Oh my goodness.
He's a little stinker, but yeah, I am very much that same personality.
I know when I posted a picture of him, he got so much love. It's amazing. He did.
Aw.
They're like, "Is that your new baby?" I was like, "I wish, but he is half part, part time.
Ah!
Part time he is, but I wish."
He loved her when they met. So fun. Um, so if you have someone who is going into, let's say, a couple, either, the bride, the groom, the bride and bride, or the groom and
Mhm,
groom,
mhm.
or non-binary, whatever the case may be, going into a wedding where there are cultural traditions involved that they're not familiar with. What would be the advice that you would impart upon them?
That's a good question. So one thing that I would do, I would definitely first I'll ask them, have they been to one, or do they have any ideas? Because one thing I never want to judge, on top of just saying that, oh, like they've never been to one, because I don't know. They might have went to a restaurant. They might have went to, let me see, like maybe to another party with a friend, but still they didn't know the idea exactly what it is until somebody explains it. So if they say no, and and I'll ask them a couple of questions. What is it that you want to know? because what I might share, it might not be interested in them. So definitely, I will ask them, what have you, you know, looked at, or what have what is that you want to learn about this culture, and I'll start from there. And I'm a visual, so I will send them like a YouTube or something like that, and that helps them. Actually, they're like, oh my god, actually yes, send me one of the YouTubes. Whether it's an Ethiopian or Eritrean or even Hindi. I mean, I don't know too much about the Hindis, but I do a lot of my homework on that. How do they start off? Like the Nigerian wedding, totally different too. Oh my god, I love it. They're just amazing. Um, and actually, that was on one of the shows right now. One of the Bravos. She was there explaining her culture, and I loved it. I was like, yes, um,
Nice.
so that's what I would definitely do is share things with them on, just watching from. But of course, I would do my research exactly what I'm looking for, and then I'll share that with them. Yeah, and of course with Google now, you can get everything, but a lot of time I will do. So say if I have one of my planners, if she done like certain other countries, I will ask her. I was like, hey, do you mind if I kind of share that? So yeah, we'll definitely do your own homework before you share anything with them.
I love that. That's
Thank you.
great advice.
Thank you.
That's really, really great advice. And I love what you do. I love what you share. You are so passionate about, you know, educating and just bringing people together without judgment, without preconceived notions, and just really bringing out the celebration.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the most amazing things about what you do
Thank you.
as a planner and a human in general.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. That's the goal. Someone was asking me like, what is your next plan? I was like, you know what, I would love to speak about this, because other business, especially like coaches or even other planners or photographers, they don't know, and I would love to be that person, to definitely, to speak out, especially like, like an example, like the wedding MBA, when I went with 2019 early, there was no one really that they knew some of the culture, but not all of it. So I would sit there and listen. I'm like, nah, that's not all of it,
Yeah,
because you could tell. I mean, it's a very, so just like an example, like I'm trying to learn a little bit more into the LGBTQ, right? I don't know a lot of that, but that's something that I really want to learn and get into. And, the questions to ask, how do you approach? So basically that's what I would love to do, kind of like teaching that.
that's that's really fascinating. I guess because I, as a photographer, have been so immersed in the LGBTQ culture
Mhm.
for such, a long period of time now,
Mhm.
um, that I've never thought about that.
Mhm. Isn't that amazing?
Which, yeah, it is funny the things that as a professional or a human that you forget other people might not and might have questions surrounding those
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah.
um, I think one of the most important things you just said was ask questions and don't come with assumptions.
Exactly.
Um,
Thank you. Yeah.
and just always work to be a better person.
Yes.
Um, and, have fun, enjoy the
Hmm.
process.
Yes. One thing I want to add to that, because I have folks, asking like, oh, why do you want to do the LGBTQ? And I said, because I know how it feels to be left out.
Yeah.
I know how it feels coming from a different country, and just learning the American culture and trying to fit in. I knew how it felt. I didn't know when I was younger, but as getting older, I was like, wow, I don't think anyone understands me. If I were to speak or say something, they're like, oh, I don't understand you. Well, literally, I spoke clear English. What is it? You know what I mean? So definitely, that's why I'm so into that, because I know how it feels to be left out. That's why I want to be there for them. Yeah.
I love that. I really love
Thank
that.
you.
Maybe I should think about doing an episode
Yes.
um, where I share some of my insights as a photographer. I don't think I've done that on the podcast either.
Mhm.
On regarding LGBTQ, because that's a
Yes.
question I used to get asked all the time. How do you pose like a two brides, they
Right.
would say.
Yeah.
And I would say, well, you pose a couple like you pose a couple. You read the room, you read the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really thought about how other people didn't instinctively know that. Because to me, it doesn't matter. It's that every couple is a completely different entity. So it doesn't really matter. Like, you have to change what you do for each couple. It doesn't, not that it doesn't matter. It's just that my mind is going in the direction of like, you are a special unicorn couple, and I'm going to find the way to capture that.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, I'm going to take control of and tell you what to do. I just don't operate in the same way. So for me, it was not as impactful to include everyone. Which, I mean, I think we all should include everyone in all of the things.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
The world is already the other side crazy, so we need to make it better. Yeah, and it's
We're working.
us. Yeah,
we're working every day for that.
Every day.
Well, Millen, if people need a little spot of the internet that is beautiful, bright, colorful, and delightful, where can they find you?
Oh, Instagram is one word, Millen's Occasions, MILLENSOCCASIONS. And if you want to shoot me an email, actually that's another good way too. But everything's really on the information on IG. It's hello@milensoccasions.com. And of course, the website, www.milensoccasions.com. But Instagram, that'd be the best way to connect with me.
And what is the name of your podcast again, so everyone can give you a follow, rate, and review?
Yes, please. Oh my God, I'm actually going to my third episode. So I just finished my second. It's there, ready. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's actually under Millen's Occasions. I made it easy. Yes.
Perfect.
I made it easy.
So smart.
Yes.
So smart.
Yes.
As opposed to me, who has 3 different brands and 5.5 different Instagrams.
Right. There's a podcast. Once you say Millen's Occasions, it's right there.
Oh man. Well, I'll have to go over and give it a follow, rate, and review myself.
I'm really busy.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here. It is always such a delight. I'm so glad things are going well. Yes. I'm so glad you still have that amazing passion that you have always had since I met you however many years ago now.
I know.
It can't be more than 4 because we didn't have the dog yet.
No, it'll be 3 years. It'll be 3 years in September.
Oh, he was such a little potato when you met him then. If you want to follow Cluzo online, Millen occasionally makes an appearance on his Instagram.
I sure do.
He is at Cluzo, like the Pink Panther, the investigator, because he is named after the Pink Panther. I'll link to him in today's show notes and to that picture that she shared because it's super cute. And thank you so much, everyone, for spending time with us today and tuning into the Wedding Dish podcast. And, obviously, thank you, Millen, for sharing your expertise, your passion, your joy, and just your beautiful personality.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being with you. Seriously, Sarah, thank you.
I feel the exact same way. And if you want to give us a follow on Instagram, we are at The Wedding Dish Podcast. Our website is theweddingdishpodcast.com, and you can read our show notes, apply to be a guest speaker. You can donate. And also, we have transcripts available because we are committed to accessibility over at The Wedding Dish, where you will get wedding tips and tricks from couples and wedding pros alike. And don't forget to tune in next week to get tons more information, inspiration, and all the good things. And please give us a follow, rate, and review on your preferred podcast platform. And that's it for today. Looking forward to seeing you all again soon. Millen, again, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day.
You too.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.